In 1780, the 47-metre-high, 65-metre-long, three-masted frigate Hermione left French waters, taking the young Marquis de Lafayette to America, where he helped George Washington defeat the British in the War in Independence. Well, now, though, a replica of the ship, once again sailing across the Atlantic, is touring parts of the Mediterranean Sea. Now, originally, many shipmates had never been on a ship like this before, in fact, also something that the new team wanted to replicate. And Alexandre Renard and Aurore Dupuis have been on board. They bring us this special report.
The Hermione was once Lafayette's warship, but this replica has been built in hopes of symbolizing peace. After crossing the Atlantic, the vessel has navigated the Mediterranean for the first time, a sea at the forefront of many of today's issues: the migrant crisis, terrorism, and pollution. 350 volunteers originating from 35 different countries have boarded the Hermione to send a message of unity in facing these issues. Albert, 31, has dealt with terrorist attacks in Nigeria. He's never sailed before.
Normally it takes two persons to steer this ship, but since there's not much wind today and the sails are not out, one person is enough. When everyone is sleeping and I'm up here on the deck steering the boat on my own in the cold, that's when I realize that the lives of all my shipmates depend on me. It's a huge responsibility. But later on, another person will be doing the same for me. So it's really the epitome of group work.
Each maneuver is performed with bare hands, just like in the 18th century. The vessel is very hard to navigate. It requires total engagement from the crew for 4.5 months and 12 stopovers. And it's a major challenge when 80% of the crew are beginners. Solidarity between crew members is essential on this three-master, a requirement which puts everyone on an equal footing. Marion Garnier is 30 years old. She's the ship's first officer.
She's the only boat of her type in the world where this is possible, where we can take aboard people who aren't passengers but who are here to actively work. We're here to promote team spirit and cooperation between all crew members. We've seen people evolve in their behavior and open up in the way they interact with others. And that's just beautiful.
20 people are needed to hoist a sail. So regardless of how tired the crew feels, it's all hands on deck. The team is split in three, rotating day and night.
That's us, the starboard group. We're the best.
Elodie is from the Ivory Coast. She takes us to the spar deck, where the sailors sleep.
Here we have the hammocks, the toilets, and my bunk is right here. And these are my overalls for when it gets really cold. As black people, we're a minority here, so we would always just stick together. It was hard to approach white people because we thought they were racist, especially the French. But we realized it was completely different. Whenever there was a problem, I would go and see the others, especially my French shipmates, and every time we'd have a great talk. It really helped change things and put an end to all these stereotypes. And now I feel great here. I don't even want to go home anymore.
For the crew members, this adventure is both a physical and a mental challenge. Everyone here has learned how to climb the 56-meter high mast, how to handle the sails, how to cox day and night, and all this while looking out for one another. Back in 1780, 300 sailors were needed to operate the Hermione. There are 80 on board today. Albert is part of the night shift.
We work like soldiers. They wake us up at 3:30 a.m. and we have 20 minutes to be on deck, ready to take over. I've never sailed before, so you can imagine what it was like when I first arrived on that deck surrounded by the ocean, having to perform maneuvers in the dark. No way you stop working or the boat will be at risk. We're doing this to send a message to those who commit terror attacks in the name of cultural or religious differences. We tell them that here we all want to live free and united.
At each stopover, the crew shares their experience and their message of mutual respect with the local population, while dressed in period costumes.
It's not every day you get to wear historic French outfits like these. So I see myself like a Frenchman from the past. I'm very happy to be wearing this.
The captains are also proud to be sporting their naval officer outfits from the era of Louis XVI.
I'm a woman. Back then, women weren't allowed to be part of the crew, let alone give orders to the men. So I hope our ancestors up there aren't looking down at me, thinking, what the hell is she doing there?
Another project is in the works for the Hermione, a 2-year world tour which would resume the never-completed scientific expedition by 18th century French explorer La Pérouse. 46 stopovers and the equivalent of circumnavigating the Earth more than twice over. A unique opportunity to compare the state of our planet 230 years later.